Hey there guys, so in today's video we're actually not talking about a video game in particular today. I got Outlast Trials on in the background just so you guys have something to watch. But I thought it might be a nice idea to kind of have a breather from talking about games in particular, and actually looking at some of my completions, some of the harder ones I've had to do throughout the last few years, kind of video game wise, obviously 100% in games, etc, etc. I don't really have like a top 5 or a top 10 or anything. I just figured I'd go through some of the ones that I've done. A, because obviously I'm proud of them, and some of them have taken a substantial amount of time and effort, and B, because I'm curious if anyone else has done these as well, and I think it'd be quite cool to see who's done kind of what games, if people have recommendations for me, or vice versa. So maybe I'll mention something on this list and maybe you're on the fence about playing it, and maybe that'll be the kind of tilting point of whether you do or don't. But just having a look through my achievements, the first one I would start with easily in recent years would be, and I've mentioned this in videos before, but it would have to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Not necessarily a difficult game. Like, you do eventually kind of get to the point where you are super powerful and you get really good at it and you get all the abilities and skills and etc, etc, etc. It's just such a grind to actually get 100%. Like, it feels like this game has taken me like a good few years to do, simply because I had to keep taking breaks from it because it just felt like it was turning into a slog. So like, my total time played on Valhalla is 8 days, 15 hours and 26 minutes. Now I probably could have done it in less time, but obviously when I first started playing it I wasn't rushing to get the 100%, I was just playing the game for what it was, and obviously then as time went on I was obviously going then for the side stuff and deliberately going out of my way to get other stuff as well to get the 100%. Again, not an inherently difficult game, it just got to the point where it felt like it was taking an absolute age to do. So if you are thinking of taking that on, be aware that it is going to take you quite a long time. I would highly recommend having 2 or 3 other games you're working towards to swap to while you're trying to do Valhalla, otherwise you are going to burn yourself out. Another one on this list, which is a kind of surprising one, is Power Wash Simulator. What starts out as a nice kind of chill, relatively kind of just vibey kind of power washing simulator game, eventually just turns into an absolute slog as well. Some of the missions are just massive. Some of the DLC ones as well. There's one for Warhammer where there's like a Thunderhawk or Thunderbird, I can't remember what the name is, one of the massive ships, and it just takes forever. There's levels in the Shrek DLC. It's like the first level is huge, like it's massive. And it just feels like it takes forever. There's also the challenge mode as well, which is really not fun to do, because it takes all the fun out of it, because you've got to be super fast or super conservative with your water, so it really sucks the fun out of it. And there are more DLCs coming for Power Wash as well, so I believe there's a Wallace and Gromit DLC now coming as well. So that means the game's going to go from 100% for me back down to like 90 something again, and I'll have to go back to it like a 4th time I think this will be now. So again, with Power Wash, it's good to chill with, but I would recommend having other games to swap out to, and be aware that they are still updating it with more and more DLC. So you're going to 100% it, and then you're going to have to revisit it like again and again and again, essentially. So keep that in mind if you're going to be doing Power Wash. I highly recommend bringing some friends along to help you out, because it's way, way more fun with people. It's kind of lonely when you're playing it by yourself. It starts to get a bit boring. Now another one on this list, which I never thought I'd mention again personally, but I am, is Gotham Knights. Now, first of all, terrible game. I made a video about it if you want to watch that. It's on the channel. I did a review on this. Not a very good game. Boring, repetitive. Again, feels like an absolute slog at times. And then there was the floor-based mode where there were like 50 floors to get through, and it's meant for 4 players. I had to do that solo, and honestly, it was very difficult. I nearly didn't do it because I really struggled. The only thing I can say about Gotham Knights really is, A, if you aren't really that interested, just keep it that way. It's really not worth it. I would just tell you to play the Arkham games instead. And B, if you are on the fence and you're like, oh, but maybe I want to play it because my friend wants to play it, honestly, that's fine. I would say play it at that point. Just don't have stupidly high expectations of like you're going to be playing like Arkham Knight with a friend, essentially. Like, don't picture it like that in your head, because that's absolutely not what you get. And just if you are going to go for the 100%, I highly recommend having a team of 4 for the wave for the floor-based mode, because doing it solo is an absolute nightmare. And is ridiculously hard, like really, really difficult. So keep that in mind as well. Another one on here. This is a really fun completion, although it was hard at times, and that's Dishonored Definitive Edition. The main missions, the main game, absolutely fine, no problem there. Even the DLC, not really any problems there. Managed those absolutely fine. The real kicker for me with this, with the Dishonored game, was the challenge modes. They were fucking hard. I've done them, I've 100%ed this game, but my god were they difficult, and some of them were very much RNG based as well, depending on where enemies spawned, and how they behaved would influence whether you were or weren't able to get 3 stars. A very fun completion. Honestly, the main game and the DLC story part of the main game is absolutely fantastic. It's definitely up there with one of my absolute favourite games that I've ever played of all time. Like, it's just, there's something about Dishonored that I love so much. I love the world, I love the universe, I love the lore, I love the art style. It's fantastic. Just be aware that the challenge mode is very, very ruthless. It's very difficult, and it takes no prisoners, and you've got a 3-star every single mode as well, which is not easy. So also on this list then, I've got a couple of other ones here that are kind of, some of these are near completion and not quite there yet. So like, I know we said only completions, but I want to bring this one up just because I need to finish it. So I'm hoping if I mention it in a video, then future me will do it, and that's Back 4 Blood. I made a video about this game now, like over a year ago. Not very good. I don't recommend it to anyone. It's trash. But I was doing the achievements, obviously doing it on the hardest difficulty, blah, blah, blah. And I've kind of stalled on it. I have the last kind of DLC part to do, and I just can't get through it. I keep dying. So it's at literally 88 of 93 achievements. I'm at 96% completion with it. I really need to go back to it to finish it. I know I can do it. It's just a matter of I need to play differently. It's just frustrating. Like, it was meant to be a successor to Left 4 Dead. I know it's not obviously a Left 4 Dead game, and I've never even played Left 4 Dead, but even Left 4 Dead looked more fun than Back 4 Blood. The card system was interesting, but like then they just gave up on it anyway and just let you have all the cards from the get-go. It's an okay game. They ditched support for it anyway. They dropped their DLCs and they called it a day. So yeah, I don't think I'd recommend that, but it's nearly there. I should be able to round that off pretty soon, hopefully. I probably won't do it on stream though, just because I don't see the point. So we've got a couple of other ones here then as well. So we've got like the Metro series. So Exodus is the first one here, because obviously that's the last one I played. And then obviously then you've got the other Metro games as well. I've 100%ed all 3 of the Metro games. Fantastic series, highly recommend. Exodus was probably the hardest of the 3, simply because of the Iron mode, where if you die, obviously you reset the entire level, which with Exodus the levels were like open world, so they were huge. So that was kind of difficult, where I had to play like common sense. You couldn't just be taking the piss and like really risking things. You had to proper have your head on a swivel and like be paying attention. But it's doable. It's very much doable. And then obviously then there's the 2 DLCs as well, which are really, really good. Honestly, Exodus is an absolutely fantastic game. If you've never played the Metro series, I would highly recommend. Honestly, some of the best games I've ever played, hands down. They're absolutely fantastic. And then we've got a couple of, so there's Last Light and there's 2033, so obviously those are under the Metro, and Dishonored 2 as well, another very good game, really, really good. So what else have we got on the list then to kind of round out? So we've got a couple of other ones here. These are kind of olderish completions now, but some of which I am still quite proud of. So for example, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt Complete Edition, that's 100%ed. Very, very fun, very, very fun achievement hunt. Very good game, honestly, in general. Like, one of the best games I've ever played again. And I've done it on the hardest difficulty, obviously because that's the one of the achievements. But I really recommend The Witcher 3 to anyone that hasn't played it. Really, really, really good game. Lots of replay value. There's loads to do, and it's just brilliant. It is really, really good. And I'm really excited because apparently there is talk that they're redoing the original Witcher, and like kind of bringing it to the modern day, to kind of like the modern day in terms of gameplay, like mechanics and stuff, to kind of make it stand up a lot better than it does currently with the older version. So hopefully if they do that, they'll hopefully do the second one as well. That would be quite nice. But I think that's where we'll round this video off. I know it's a little bit different. I know normally I talk about games that I'm either currently doing or have done. It's simply because I wanted to cover some of the achievements I have done, because obviously at the moment you guys will know I've done Goat Simulator. We just recently finished Far Cry 2, as best we can anyway. And obviously I'm moving on to some other games. It's just that obviously it's a big challenge to try and get as many 100% as I can in a year. And I'm kind of looking at my list going, oh, this is impossible. So I thought it'd be nice to kind of revisit some of my older ones, look at some of my past completions and how many I've got, to kind of reinforce in my head, like in my mind, like, oh no, this is definitely doable because you've done this, this, this and this, like you've done all of these. And some of those I mentioned there aren't small games either. I know some of them did take me the course of a few years, but like some of them didn't, so I'm hoping that'll kind of boost me a little bit in my head to be like, no, I can definitely smash out quite a few completions this year. And we're only in February, so I've got loads of time yet to kind of smash through more. But yeah, and then next week, then I don't know what next week's video is going to be, so stay tuned for that. And as of the day of recording this, there's a stream going up. Obviously, by the time you guys see this video, the stream will have gone, because it'll be before Friday, but you know what I mean. But yeah, hopefully you watch the stream. If not, as always, don't worry, the VOD will be on YouTube. The last few VODs now of Goat Simulator's final one will be going up soon. And the Far Cry ones as well. I'll be getting those up as well next week, along with the Goat Simulator ones, so we'll have all of those there then as well. And then obviously then whatever games I decide to play next, same as always, I'll record and download the VODs. And then obviously then I'll pop them on YouTube, so if anyone wanted to watch it and they couldn't get there when it was live, it's absolutely fine, because it'll be on YouTube, don't worry, you'll still be able to watch them there as well. Anyway, that's it from me. I've got other stuff to do today as well. I'm quite busy today, so you know, much love as always, guys. I know it's a bit of a different video, but I hope that you still enjoyed nonetheless. Leave a like, subscribe, all the usual stuff that helps me out. And as always, have a good morning, afternoon, evening or night, obviously depending on where you are. But much love, yeah, and I will see you all in the next video or the next stream, but take care for the meantime.